huge turnout today at the offices of billionaire leader and tech visionary Summer Smith.
This episode will have a lot of fun with phone charger puns, but Chargeria itself seems confused since this hole on this building seems to be an Ethernet port, and this building has 2 HDMI ports, none of which are typically used to charge cell phones.
We're ready to launch the device.
Pronoun gaming whatever the device is, as if a tech billionaire would be able to resist giving it a self-indulgent name like Summer Star, or Freedom Rocket, or Chargy McChargeface.
Do we have eyes on my brother?
No, ma'am.
Then we're not ready.
Then Summer should have set that expectation as part of the parameters for readiness, thus saving this lady a scolding and us some filler dialogue. Expecting me to believe a reminder of Jerry's existence would be any kind of motivation to return home. Whoever took this photograph but then decided to Photoshop any details out of it.
Morty, it is time to go. It's almost 9 p.m. back in the real world, and our exit will only work if Mom's in the kitchen pouring her bedtime wine.
Never mind why Summer has wasted so much time talking with her assistant and talking to Morty about chili, and never mind how it's possible for Summer to know what time it is in the world outside of this matrix. And never mind that this would mean Beth pours her wine at exactly the same time every day without fail. Oh, I guess I won't be never minding that after all.
Dear God, Summer Smith has made phone chargers obsolete!
Summer's about to launch a device that provides 100% wireless charging, but I'm confused about the makeup of this spectating crowd. These two people over here seem to be protesting against the idea of wireless charging, while these two people are holding up posters that would seem to be in support of Summer. These opposing sides should have devolved into an all-out brawl before you can say unhealthy polarization of society.
A contactless electrical grid! That means no chargers, you old bitch! I win! The Matrix is obsolete!
Summer sure is fortunate that Rick programmed this discount inner light matrix in a way that means it can be beaten.
Mom! Mommy! Get away from me, Rick! Mom! Rick put us in a simulated reality.
The time crunch to get back wasn't nearly as crucial as we were led to believe, considering Summer's screams could have been heard all over the house and she had plenty of opportunity to keep running.
I'm an emancipated adult. I demand sovereignty over my mind and future. Don't let him reset us!
But how did she know for certain that Rick was going to reset them? Did he take the time to explain his plan before shoving them in the Matrix? That kind of shit's all over their punishment if they know they won't remember any of it. Also, if Summer knew this was a Matrix the whole time, why didn't she just enjoy it? She knows that only minutes are passing in the real world, so she could have just had 2 decades of doing whatever the she wants, knowing that any regrets or mistakes will be erased on her exit. I'm not saying I want to be put in a Matrix, but I'd sure have some fun if I did.
You built a Matrix to punish them for a phone charger?
Saying this to Rick C. Reddit for all the up he's done because there's too much for me to list here. Sanchez with even 0.001% amount of surprise in your tone.
I fell in love, ran a country, visited Chargentina and the Philippines.
Instead of getting hung up on all the puns in this episode and calling out everyone individually, I'll just phone it in and charge the episode with 10 sins. Also, showing favoritism by missing out on the following countries from your world tour: Phoneland, Cabo Verde, Chargerica, the United Ringdom, Chargerbaijan?
There's literally no limit to what I can achieve.
There literally is.
Cold much?
You're nipping out.
I was going to say something about how the other girls would be just as cold as Summer, but I don't see the points.
A third mimosa?
On a Wednesday afternoon?
Who are we?
Maybe a better question is, what restaurant is serving 3 mimosas to a 17-year-old on a Wednesday afternoon?
I love this version of you.
Unironically saying this to your offspring.
Isn't comedy just the revelation of an unacknowledged truth?
That's not what Yo Mama said.
This is that death race on Vega 5, right? Space and land?
Yeah, actually.
Toss me a beer. Think we should add a snorkel intake to the engine block.
Except you don't need a snorkel intake on land, and it definitely won't do any good in space where, rumor has it, there is an absence of breathable air.
Any charger you still can and will be used against you.
Making me imagine how a charger would be used against someone. It takes 5 firefighters to put out this tiny fire, and not one of them knows that you don't use water to put out electrical fires. It's extremely narratively convenient that stealing a charger, the most holy of items in this society, doesn't preclude Morty from being allowed to join the army.
If you're remembering a bunch of stuff, you have to say it out loud.
No, because then we'd have to live through that montage and hear Morty tell us what we just saw. If you keep observing tropes, Rick, I'm going to put you in a matrix where none of these cliches exist and you can live the most boring and unentertaining life imaginable. Wait.
My job is to invest in your college fund, Summer.
First of all, I already graduated charger cum laude.
But she does know that the fake degree she got in the fake universe is essentially worthless compared to a degree out here, right? Well, I mean, more worthless.
Life is slipping away. It's time to make some big changes or get comfortable with some big regrets.
Beth has been married to Jerry for 17 years. think she's already comfortable with big regrets. Nothing in this hardware store appears to be priced, and that is f***ing infuriating.
Wow, you guys are really spreading out onto the lawn, huh?
Being more concerned about the space being consumed than the deadly Deathmobile consuming it. The senseless death of 8-Ball could probably have been avoided if, instead of staring in shock, Morty would have just reached down and unplugged the mine's power cable. The maddeningly chaotic way in which these outlets are being used. Honestly, this should be the one universe where I shouldn't have to nitpick this shit.
I can't die!
Morty comes back to life after dying, but why aren't his clothes repaired as well? On the other hand, why don't they deteriorate more and more as he dies again and again? Also, not calling this episode Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Remort.
Did you just hotwire that car?
Being surprised by this when you know she spent 17 years in a Matrix doing science and
Damn, that got out of hand fast. Well, I told her it would.
When you consider that members of this family have, at various times, visited an amusement park inside a homeless guy, buried their own dead bodies, and turned into sentient pickles, Summer stealing a car and calling Beth a boomer is light years away from being out of hand.
Had to use a little something we called the Reg Rock. Try her out.
Charger spelled backwards. Cute.
Being so proud of a charging witticism that you had to explain it and let us know how witty you are.
Cool tank.
I like to believe this guy is a distant relative of that cop that James Bond 100% murdered in Tomorrow Never Dies, but the editing insisted survived.
No.
No.
The seemingly unstoppable and pretty cool-looking vehicle is now heading towards a power plant.
If all you're throwing at it is a concrete barrier and two cops with handguns, it's less that the tank is seemingly unstoppable and more that you're seemingly not trying. Also, if Morty's plan was just to drive through that mile-long fence to the right of the road, why bother smashing the barrier at all?
That's called community. And if we had more of it in this world and less factory farmed beef, our little boys wouldn't be driving tanks into nuclear power plants.
Wow. The septuagenarian just shared highly specific information to the one person who can fix said problem. Good job these woo-woo spiritual people are so connected to their phones.
Oh God, I have to stop him.
You know how?
I'm a tech CEO, so even if I don't, I'll pretend I do.
But also, too soon. Too soon.
Fear not, guard number 2.
Calling your child number 2.
The moat was installed for this exact scenario. There's not a tank on Earth that can cross that water.
But how about a boat? Or a plane? Or a missile? Between this mode and that just 2 guards in a concrete barrier situation at the front gate, I'm starting to think the designers of Power Plant Valley's defenses were taking tips from Galen Urso.
I knew we'd win it because we had you. An ex-con with no future, no family, no way to die.
Yeah, it's really just that last bit that's important, though. Also, when did Summer find out that neither of them could die? Because Morty only found out when it happened, and that was after he joined the army. None of that explains why she abandoned Morty in the build-up to him joining the army.
Rick, he would have woken up and let us out.
On whose terms? He would have wiped us clean before our eyes were open.
Would he, though? If he'd wiped their memories entirely, Summer and Morty wouldn't have learned their lesson about borrowing cell phone chargers. And since they're only in there for a matter of minutes, there would literally be no lasting impact. And there are easier ways for Rick to get some peace and quiet for nap time.
I was just saying not to steal such dangerous technology. Your grandpa's obviously a genius.
See?
That's an actual guy, making several obvious and valid statements.
But how do the people at this power plant know that the technology was Rick's? The show has the tendency to incept so much that even I was convinced Summer and Morty were still in a Matrix. And even though that's the whole point of writing the scene this way, it still gets us in.
That's anti-radiation gel. Your and bits will thank me later.
Rick doesn't spray his own and bits because he enjoys the pain of severe radiation burns. Here's a preemptive sin for all the future frame-by-framing I'm gonna have to do to make sure they animate this f***ing tattoo every time they show Morty's arm.
I'm gonna remember him,
You won't.
but I'm gonna miss you.
You won't.
I have a feeling things are gonna be different now.
They won't.
The first thing your peers will try to take from you is your adult empathy. It's your greatest gift and the one thing
Send a
they-
text.
Summer stealing my Skip Thunder. By the way, did you know Skip Thunder happens about a second per mile after the Skip Lightning? Fun fact. Namaste Fo Seva.
All right. Final item of the Galactic Defiance meeting.
Briefing doesn't contain a Mon Mothma spitting truths and then going to get trashed and dance the night away.
Why don't we turn things over to our assassin, Beth Sanchez?
Great. It's an assassination meeting. Where the hell is the assassin?
Why did he start the assassination meeting without checking to see if your assassin, the linchpin of the whole plan, was present and accounted for? This wingsuit positively taunts me into saying, how the f it works in a vacuum. I wasn't gonna bite because it's clearly some advanced techie thing that isn't actually wind-based until Beth spreads her wings like a demented space squirrel to slow down. Okay, it could still be some unexplained techie thing that works in a vacuum, but must it act so suspiciously like something I would sin? This unnatural character design that saw fit to give them 3 sets of dangly bug nuts instead of securing the chesticles inside the abdomen, as my 5th grade biology book intended.
Do you even look at your Defiance email?
Who has the patience for 3-factor authentication?
Adding an extra layer of authentication to this joke as if the world isn't pissed off enough with 2-factor, CAPTCHA, and the constant quest to prove we aren't robots. So this is an invisibility cloak and a walk through walls cloak? Why not use that the whole time? This reminds me of a glitch in Link's Awakening on the Game Boy where you could hold select at the perfect time and glitch through walls to skip dungeons. Not because of similarities to what Beth is doing, but because it eventually the game as much as this episode when you realize there's no reason to stop using it. Everyone who has driven a car on a freeway will call bug on Beth pulling off all this violence without a single buggy entrail splatting onto her person.
Oh,
I think she means, thank God I stopped at this window right as my getaway ride was destroyed so that I didn't jettison myself into space chasing a destroyed vehicle with no hope of escape.
I'm going to die.
I wouldn't bet on it. You could stand perfectly still and have a conversation with your wrist and these guards would still miss you. You know, just as a random example. Loudly groaning when you're supposed to be in hiding. Become the shadows, Beth.
Funny story. Or maybe not that funny.
Are you pitching a Hulu original?
Whoa, shots fired, Hulu. That'll show Hulu while I use Hulu to watch this show on Hulu.
You'd think it'd be easy to scan the only warm-blooded thing on the ship.
We tried that once. A lot of rats in the walls.
Being too busy with your witty meta commentary to simply go towards the heat blob that is significantly larger than a rat. Also, how did the rats get to your ship in space? Did they put on little spacesuits and infiltrate? Did you land the ship on a world with rats? Did they infest your cargo ships like tarantulas did with banana boats? Curious minds need to know.
Hey, freeze!
You first.
For no reason at all, they decide to yell out commands instead of shooting on sight like everyone else has been. Worse than that, they did her the kindness of waiting while she reached into her bag of holding to pull out this quip-specific grenade. Rick asked for this lava cake to go, and yet this to-go box looks suspiciously like the plate and cutlery you would see if one were ordering it to stay. That sand isn't deep enough though. Also, quicksand doesn't suck you down that quickly. And I'm overthinking it, aren't I? Say it with me now. Social commentary meets Looney Tunes logic. Social commentary meets Looney Tunes logic.
This organization resents and discourages talent.
Warner Bros. Discovery.
I gotta make sure it's the right supremacist. They all look alike.
This fucking show. How do you take a profound point, merge it with a dad joke, and create hilarity? With perfectly placed pornography. That's how. Why did Rick and Beth teleport to this address instead of using Rick's spaceship? Was it so we could have an awkward car conversation trope earlier? Listen, what if this show literally doesn't care about transportation consistency? What then?
Good luck with that.
Wait, so he's too cool to be a Slimer, but he's asthmatic?
Rick drops a killer quip instead of killing this bug before it gets buff so that the audience can appreciate the transformation. Oh, and the killer quip. Also, saying that someone can't be cool just because they're asthmatic. We're not all Piggy from Lord of the Flies, you know.
It's some kind of souped up fungus.
What? Should we be wearing masks?
Nah, we're fine. It's a bug problem.
He said. Too late to do anything about it now if that weren't the case, Idly.
All of Gromflom 1 will gather for her birthday, and all will receive a gift.
That's not how birthdays work, dipsh.
Assuming birthdays work the same on Gromflom 1 as they do on Earth.
How about this for a birthday? Close airlock 7.
Making some of your door controls voice activated and others button activated seems like a recipe for confusion and accidental extermination. Maybe start with the energy blades next time? Or better yet, just make guns that shoot out energy blades? There you go. I scienced it for you. Let's talk about this chart behind them. Why are some parts written in English and others in Gromflom? Do all the bugs here read a combination of the two? Listen, what if this show literally doesn't care about language consistency? What then? Also, this pie chart up here frustratingly adds up to 100%. Thankfully, this 13% segment looks a lot more than 3% bigger than this 10% segment. Yay, nitpick saved.
Cisco provides us with security credentials for the maintenance tunnels.
And if he doesn't show, what's our backup plan?
I use Cisco so that I don't need a backup plan.
This whole Ocean's 11 style going over the plan as said plan goes to while the voiceover has no idea the plan has gone to is so much fun. Much more fun than it is to describe, but sometimes that happens when you're fishing for a way to add a certain number of sins. Thank goodness I found a lot of inconsistencies and errors in this scene, and all the appropriate sins will be added to the total with no need for a backup plan.
Even if you do cure it, our scanners show a big, scary, dramatic spore hive growing deep underground. Real, final boss vibes.
This whole spore hive twist seems like the animators and writers finished the episode and then realized they needed to fill another 7 minutes of content. Wasn't the original plan to detonate the robot queen filled with spores and infect all those present for her birthday? Plans never once mentioned a secondary weapon ready to replace the initial weapon once it was destroyed, and Cassian died for nothing.
We're long on bugs and short on ethics.
Title of my mid-COVID sex tape?
Oh no, I like jelly. I want nutritious jelly. I want boob milk. I like boobs.
We're all adults here. Why not both? I like this scene better in Aliens.
Protect the payload!
Wouldn't the best way to protect the payload be to not bring it with you until you've ensured the area is clear of things wishing to do harm to said payload?
Glad you picked up my call, Dad.
Glad you called.
Episode has time for this shallow attempt at a heartfelt exchange. This everything in their ancestors in sight grenade feels like it would have been a great opening move and not a last-ditch Hail Mary.
Today, I am proud to honor heroes from both sides on what will forever mark the dawn of a new age.
Galactic peace just like that? Got any more of that infectious fungi? Asking for my planet.
The Defiance owes you to a debt of gratitude.
Chewbacca is still being disrespected in this scene. Wait a second, is this an ampersand, a symboid, or is it a typographic-on? And why are they teasing that movie before we've even gotten Challenge of the Geometrons?
I can be calm and bored.
Kids.
Hang on, we gotta find a place to land.
Rick comes here to collect space debris while being unprepared to deal with space debris, so an emergency landing can be born and the will of the episode fulfilled.
Clones, biotrash.
After all the Rick die repeating and daughter cloning, you'd think Rick would be less flippant about the otherwise conceived, or that the episode would wink at us as a reminder that it knows that it's been leaning pretty hard on the clone-driven storylines.
We don't want to stop here. This is the Morty part of town, if you know what I'm saying.
Are you saying all Mortys are gingers?
What's that guy's deal?
Morty, I can't imagine anything worse than having to know.
You don't have to imagine at all, because I'll tell you that by the end of this episode, we will witness a fun John Wickian murder spree, but never get much insight into this Rick's deal beyond his previous employment or have any clue as to what this corn slurry is used for. Not choosing a more expansive license plate with a higher character limit so you could fit the full phrase of B0063RA1D5.
Are you one of us? Did we have an overalls guy? Just trying to leave with my stuff.
The fact that just answering yes to this question would have probably worked, and that this Rick is, for some reason, not being Rick enough to try it.
Just making small talk. Long elevator.
This fun NPC banter, which I'm being forced to experience. It's like the elevator ride is only here to mask the fact that the next level is loading. Missing from this episode is the story of how Mutton Chops Morty somehow managed to score having a soda at the bar duty, while every other Morty at the new Citadel is a servant or the subject of genetic experiments.
I can monologue while we wait.
Roll textbook villainy.
You ever wonder why I'm an overweight Southern Railroad baron?
Don't know, don't care. Mostly because the answer will have nothing to do with Taco Bell or Railroad Tycoon. Rick resurrecting robots readily repairing ruptures. Also, the gang of Ricks used precious time and resources to kill his animals, trash his farm, and leave him a poop-scrawled message, as if they knew he would have the fortitude of Rasputin. It's a lot of credit to give a farmer Rick that you only met seconds before shooting a bazillion times. Tori Anus was right there. I'll buy Homesteader Rick's truck computer matching a shard glass to a bottle from a specific brewery on a completely different planet. What I want to see is how he managed to fish this specific piece of glass out of the rubble of an entire town without scanning it and finding out that it matches a bottle from a specific brewery on a completely different planet.
A new Citadel. You Ricks don't have many original ideas, do you?
Morty says writer's weird.
I'm off to a dimension where racism is cool.
Isn't racism's whole deal spreading irrational fear and anger? Like, if there was a dimension where everyone was just cool with it, would anyone really enjoy it? Or is this like an aesthetic thing where racism has slick back hair and a leather jacket and says things like, "Hey"?
And what's your big plan? I mean, after I teabag your mom?
I don't see what's funny about offering to have afternoon tea with someone's mother.
Where's your boss? Up your butt and around the corner. That's where this barrel is going if you don't start talking. Up your butt or my butt?
It's a moot point. That barrel's not long enough to round a rectal corner.
All we did was shoot you, man. You can't take that personally.
People who forget they on someone's floor and then on their taste in music.
I hope I bleed out before I have to burn to death.
There is no need to be this dramatic. Just say, please drag me away from the fire in the direction that Rick is currently leaving. It just struck me how often we've seen children die on this show. Sure, it's mostly just different versions of the one kid, but still a lot of child death.
It's the best Morty cloning scientist. And from the looks of these boys, he's still got it.
Big Rick would have come to the opposite conclusion had he seen the state of the pigs at the farm. The sin is making assumptions based on incomplete information.
This is such a head
Have you watched Rick and Morty? This twist barely qualifies as head foreplay.
Non-clone piece of shit. Nah, we don't need to be so unpleasant with each other. I'd love to offer you your old job back.
Getting bashed on the head and called a piece of shit prior to getting the job offer being more desirable than writing another cover letter.
I'm no better than any of you. I'm just self-loathing about it.
Stealing my winning campaign slogan from when I ran for senior class president.
All right now, think that's large enough.
Title of my sex tape? The fact that Big Rick doesn't see something like this coming when he turned over his cloning device to a Rick he himself described as the expert at cloning.
Kill that abomination!
Encouraging everyone in the room to attack your accent. Critiquing this show for its impossible technology and devices may be pedantic and pointless, but I can see how thick the roof of this Rick-up truck is. This gun is going to need a fun IKEA name if I'm going to believe it's flat pack. You get the drop on a guy who's out of ammo, yet you still don't get a shot off. Why would they give a cool mohawk to f around with every intention of finding out Rick?
You certainly are a burr in my saddle.
Portaling without a portal device. Unless it's in the cane, in which case I would have liked to seen how that worked.
Someone made you with sayaks, all those sweaty parts and nipply bits.
One of my father's more ambitious attempts at the talk somehow makes it into the episode.
You're under the delusion of something called the auteur myth. Truth is, any big project is made in collaboration.
Sure, auteur theory is the oversimplification of a cake that many hands were needed to bake, but big projects aren't completely democratic in their creation either. If that were the case, Rick and Morty would have descended into fascism somewhere around season 5.
Au revoir, son. You rage!
Sitting here and exploding instead of portaling away to safety.
Maybe he survived it?
Sure, that was a very heavy citadel that just fell on him, but you can't just yada yada the death of a Rick that earlier survived all the bullets going through his body.
What do we do now? Go home? We decide where home is, for each of us.
We'll then see a bunch of Mortys dropped off on different planets all by themselves. Couldn't some of them have decided that home was sticking together? I hate to poo-poo this inning because it feels like a positive change, but it also makes me feel very lonely.
I think my Morty dropped his fidget spinner down here.
Found it! I told you I checked between the seats.
When you're right, Morty.
Morty's fidget spinner has moved from the cornfield where they made the emergency landing to this gravesite that is too close to the house. And that's just not how centripetal acceleration works.
Fa la 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 eggs.
If this had come out of any other character, it'd be a sin removal, but, you know, Jerry. Thinking that the best way to coerce a piece of paper into a festive ovoid is by snipping at it repeatedly as if it's getting a haircut.
Maybe you and I can hide some eggs one last time.
Title of my resurrection tape?
Oh my God, are you okay?
Jerry, you moron. How do you know it even speaks English?
I'm not trying to kill you with vomit.
Choosing this moment prove you graduated from the Prometheus School of Vomiting Away from Things.
Please tell me this isn't who I think it is.
Well, do you know of any other bipedal humanoid rabbits?
Somehow I missed the memo that a biblically accurate Easter bunny was commonly known to be a bipedal humanoid rabbit. How do you look at this thing and not scream, "Ah, Krampus! Thank God I killed it with my car." Also, we see the bunny being dropped on the floor, presumably by Jerry, and yet he has not a single speck of blood or vomit on his person, even his own.
Feel my heart is beating a million beats per second.
Scene does not make this literally true and show me Jerry's heart exploding out of his chest in a horrifically gory death, much to my chagrin.
Doesn't anyone have a calendar app?
There is a calendar right behind you, Rick. But the show knows that I'd see that and knows that Rick would know that, so this is clearly a trap. Or maybe they knew all along that one day I'd find an actual sin and all the meta commentary and fourth wall prodding has been leading to this moment where I would mistake a genuine continuity error for a self-aware gag. I did it! I finally solved Rick and Morty.
God, I do not want to say climate change on this show. I don't know which way Zaslav voted.
Unless Zaslav has found a loophole to claim Earth's next mass extinction as a tax write-off, I think you're good.
Recent thaw.
If the Easter Bunny only unfroze recently, who's been taking care of Easter? And if the answer is the parents were doing it all along, then why did Jerry know what he'd run over? And why would so many parents lie to so many children?
You ever see Iceman, Morty?
Assuming your grandson, or anyone for that matter, has seen every movie in existence. Movie-based lists of shame are an unreasonable burden to put on society when there are so many episodes of Murder, She Wrote to prioritize first.
Whoa, just check out this Wicker Man looking place.
Some internet people were apparently irritated that Morty hadn't heard of Encino Man or Iceman, but knew enough about the Wicker Man to reference it. However, I see no issue here. The latter came out in 2006 and is universally loved by all.
German Easter is a little less chocolate-centric.
Say what you want about America, but we get a few things right.
Other than chocolate?
Space Christians? Isn't that a conflict of interest?
Assuming all Christians don't believe in space. Someone seems to be conflating biblical doctrine with the medieval church's fear that Copernicus's theory of heliocentrism would undermine their... I lost you at heliocentrism, didn't I? Sorry, Rick survives this? Just carry on.
What the hell is happening?
2025.
Oh well, Nati Kameye.
Randomly stealing lyrics from Willow's Wait a Minute. A lot of teeth falling out happening this episode. I do not like it.
Yeah. Trying to work out the big mythology here, and all I'm getting is H.R. Geiger meets Coachella.
That's so reductive. One is a disturbing collection of eerie, unsettling, and often hard to consume art, and the other is H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, it has a butt where its should be.
Assuming alien genitalia has to conform to not just a human, but a biologically human man.
Here's science. The Easter rabbit's an alien, they send it to planets in an egg.
That's not science, Rick. That's looking at pictures, making up your own story, and then calling it science. You should have shouted, here's religion.
Looks like it makes everyone have sex until the planet gets overpopulated and collapses. It's f***-based terraforming.
No, terraforming is transforming the climate of a planet to be more habitable. What you're talking about, Rick, is f***-based socioeconomic destruction of an indigenous population ahead of colonization. Or the British.
Have you seen any of them turn around yet? Is it in the back?
Rick should be able to answer this considering he just saw one of them turn around to grab the egg, thus exposing its back front side to him. Those famous Easter Island statues do have bodies, but they actually stop right above the butt. Joke ruined. Bet you feel like an ass now. I'm very confused by this pinball scoring system. What sadistic pinball machine only dishes out double-digit scores? Either this pinball machine is bizarrely frugal with the points it gives out, or these guys are so bad at pinball none of their scores are worthy of being recorded.
Societal collapse imminent!
Thinking we need alien assistance with this.
Cute, let me tell you a story. My species does not like sex.
That is a statement, not a story. That's like summing up Star Wars as tragic burn victim is a deadbeat father. Look how gently he opens that window, and then later just bursts through the entire door frame.
Anyway, that's the whole plot of Alien Prometheus.
Lying to your grandson.
You think you've won, but we sent our best man and he couldn't do the job.
So a couple thousand years ago, you sent one of your best soldiers to kill a rabbit that was encouraging humans to have sex, but ever since then, you just stopped? No further attempts to prevent planet-wide fornication? Not even in the 60s?
Okay, now he's dead.
Premature death abrasion.
He's in the garage, and unless you guys just jerked around for the last 48 hours, you know how to fix this.
But that doesn't explain why Beth, who is in close proximity to Jerry, hasn't been affected by the Genesex waves. Earth Day is actually April 22nd, and I'm afraid I'm fresh out of, well, I guess things are different in this universe, get out of sin jail free cards. We will now montage through the Rickish Mortquisition, abolishing any sign of festivities across the country. Presumably because at the core of every holiday is some atrocious origin that could one day come back to bite us, completely missing the true meaning of every holiday, a day off of work. I don't get it. Other than there being 3 extra people than normal, it doesn't look like they changed Thanksgiving at all.
I'm happy we did all the other religious holidays off screen.
However, they spent the last 10 months destroying every holiday celebration in the country, and yet I see no sign of a clone army or time travel f***ery to help them achieve this feat. Ironically, this is such an impressive task, humanity would likely dedicate a holiday to their legend.
How long have we been here?
I think it's December!
There's no way the locals wouldn't have shut this down after 2 weeks. What did they do with the locals? Wait, is that body pile the Spring Breakers or the locals?
She didn't have a second stomach just for alcohol. She didn't make it.
Thinking a second stomach would save you from alcohol poisoning when what you really need is a second liver and a second frontal lobe.
Spring break only ends if your parents pick you up.
Wait, has anyone in the history of spring break ever been picked up by their parents?
I wear her teeth to remember.
A lot of teeth falling out happening this episode. I do not like it. Also, sorry Summer, your brother's lost friend story 3 episodes ago was way sadder. Flashbacks or it didn't happen.
But this
podcast won't cash in on their specific and particularly gruesome group decapitation.
Too bad. Someone else will.
It's a big market, man.
Morty, don't just respond. Find a podcast without scruples.
Trying to find a podcast these days that doesn't use the apothecary unit of weight equal to 20 grains, when it's pretty much how Joe Rogan made all his money. Also, Morty's still letting Rick ridicule him for doing the exact same thing he just did in season 8. Start punching up, man.
What do you think, Morty? A bunch of sleeping beauties? Want to go tap on some glass?
Rick and Morty threatening to do a Sleeping Beauty before Disney has a chance to tactically nuke another one of its beloved IPs.
This will be like taking candy from a baby, if that baby was in a coma.
The simile lacks the essential details. Like, who's giving candy to a baby in a coma? What kind of candy is it? When was it given? Like, is it stale? Where's the candy from? Not normally a relevant question, but no one wants to end up with a Werther's original from Dimension C-131. And finally, why are you giving candy to babies in the first place?
We're robbing them?
Morty, what did I just say about scruples?
You said to find a podcast without them. I'll admit there's probably a clever way to connect that to larceny, but you didn't do that.
The hell, Morty? We're not literally robbing babies.
Acting like you'd feel any different if you were actually robbing babies. Also, this is a space arc containing a civilization of people looking for a new world. There are absolutely babies on this ship that you are by proxy robbing.
Look what you did. They're counting down even faster.
Ticking clocks that are so arbitrary, their countdown doesn't even pretend to be tied to space-time.
Now go find that other pod with a dead guy in it.
Our two main characters, who have conveniently stumbled upon a cryo ship, conveniently find two conveniently empty cryopods that they can conveniently jump into when they conveniently fumble the convenient coal heist. Bridge of a spaceship looks like it was directly lifted from Star Trek. Cliché. This sign is not in a league of its own.
Jimmy?
Oh my God, Jimmy! Is that you?
The cryogenic wake-up process on this ship was clearly set to maximum drama. The fact that the parents arrived fully clothed means they were woken up early enough to get dressed, but not early enough to be present when their kids wake up.
The pod, there must have been some kind of malfunction.
You'd think there'd be a system log or record of some sort in these cryopods. This one, for example, would say something like, cryo sleep activated, major malfunction, kid dead, replaced with elderly gentleman, mostly robot.
Must be the pituitary governor on his pod. While we were in stasis, Jimmy kept growing at an accelerated rate.
He kept aging as well, so your lazy technobabble could have included a reference to the hypothalamic modulator.
I went to school for medicine, not manners.
The precedent laid down in Kingsman the Secret Service is manners maketh man. So, through the transitive property of equality, as a doctor who has studied man, you should also know manners. Boom! Lawyered, or doctored, or math-magicianed.
Gray skin, necrotic breath, jaundiced eyes?
Jaundiced eyes that look suspiciously like regular eyes.
Should I get him some clothes?
His penis is big now.
Believing there's a direct correlation between phallus size and the volume of clothing that should be applied. Doing whatever this man is doing in the shower exercises the same hubris as the boys' dorm in my freshman year. We thought the plumbing could handle these things, but it just couldn't. I will never not be surprised when an alien culture is shown to be using written English. Practice, by the way, that isn't even ubiquitous among humans. And yes, I could have seen this earlier, but then I would have stepped all over that awesome League of Their Own reference.
Medbay, got another compliance chip on the fritz.
And here's a perfectly timed demonstration of how horrible that procedure would be, just in time to convince Morty to tactically backpedal.
Jimmy! There you are!
For some reason, Rick believes that throwing an incriminating lockpicking device off screen is the same as throwing it out of sight of the people right in front of him.
Son, it's important to us that you're recognized as a man in the eyes of God.
Pretty sure God already made me a man.
Assuming religion requires logic.
Tomorrow night, we're holding your Constellatio celebration.
There are very few people in the world who I would consent to holding my Constellatio celebratio, and my parents are not on that list.
Let's get you a big lollipop and dress you like a little sailor.
I mean, are these just humans with pointy ears? I'm no Darwinistician, but I feel like parallel evolution shouldn't extend to cute sailor suits and stereotypical lollipops.
Oh, how much is there? They've only been awake for 5 hours.
Assuming it's all and not a cocktail of all the bodily extrusions that one might want to, extrude upon exiting hibernation.
Tastes like lumpy piss.
Knowing what lumpy piss tastes like and admitting it to your peers.
This gruel, it's got energy, lumps, all the things a Makey needs.
Whitewashing your Dozer character as some kind of retribution for Morgan Freeman playing Red.
Did you not just get complio-sucked?
Oh, yeah, you learned to take the pain.
But this guy's compliance chip had a visual sparking when he needed some extra compliancing. So how do they explain away Morty not having a similar visual aid for the audience?
Get me out of here! I'm literally scooping by hand!
Good.
You literally were not. They gave you a grabber.
Something's up with his chip. He don't got one!
But he does have an unexplained bald spot where the chip would be for reasons.
We got a hand thing now?
for the resistance.
This feels too long for a secret handshake. Ah!
The fact that you appear to be nailing a secret handshake that you've never seen before probably means it's not a very good secret handshake. That's how you pick a nit, Morttholomew. Broadcasting your intentions to bring about a hammer time to an unprepared room. Coincidentally, this is exactly why I don't get invited to weddings anymore.
You are funny, but not in the haha way, in the bad way. Like, is my dog sitting like that because he's watching TV with us? Or is he expressing his anal glands funny?
Oof, long walk.
Rick would be in charge of pun breeding at TVSins.
I opened the safe and it was empty.
Sorry, Doug. We checked the vault's log, and the last person to access it was, in fact, Jimmy Jameson.
When exactly did she figure that out? They've been fighting off a revolution for the past few minutes and just found out the vault was empty? When did she, past tense, find out who last accessed the vault in the few seconds since she arrived? Also, the vault has an entry log, but the f***ing cryo tubes don't. Using facial recognition and enlarging to get around zooming and enhancing, like I won't call it a trope to get around sinning it as a cliche.
Little asshole.
Title of my colonoscopy tape?
Space race, Morty! Let's go!
Things will now devolve into a discount rat race, for which I struggle to find a reason to remain invested. For all intents and purposes, this episode is ended. And yes, Rat Race is the only movie to ever do this kind of thing, so you can stop with your mad comments.
Gonna pay off med school, baby! Go!
Time of death is now!
Finding magical extra gears to punctuate your sick burns when you should already be racing at top speed.
Ha ha! I never believed in God! I do believe in God! I do believe in God!
This probably works.
Hey, turn up the TV!
A massive space race is underway, apparently chasing down a large fortune of stolen money.
The plot owes a great deal to this alien's uncanny curiosity about news position.
Tim, I'm here at the scene where I'm gonna be rich! I quit!
It's going to be extremely awkward when this guy has to ask for his job back after losing the race. You know, since everyone overtook him while he was needlessly waiting to quit on live TV for the lulz. I won't play this song about a man being alone with pennies and touching them because I don't think it's worth it.
Think he found a shortcut?
Nope, he's just nuts.
Or, hear me out, the episode introduced a situation where a giant ship was crashing into everything because it looked cool, and then it realized how completely unnecessary it was for the story, so they had to make a left turn out of our lives.
Why is this old dude wearing my Constellatio suit?
Better question, why does your Constellatio suit fit that old dude?
I'd hold on to something, Rick.
Character opens the airlock and risks killing themselves and everyone else, cliché.
All our wealth, it's gone.
Floating in space doesn't count as gone in the next few minutes will prove that to be true. There was no reason for this line of dialogue to happen. All available evidence suggests that space has forgotten how space works in this episode.
You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family.
But I am family, and you did choose me.
I see no evidence that he chose you versus you being the path of least resistance.
Oh, Jesus, you dumb monkey.
Trying to argue creationism and evolution in the same sentence. Sure, it's cute setting your opening montage as the theme from Cheers, but do the lyrics actually reflect how either Beths are feeling? There must be a song out there that represents the feeling of ennui brought about by the parental abandonment of your mad scientist father. I mean, Radiohead, am I right? Engaging your cloaking device after you've breached the room and triggered all the bad guys.
Would one of you mind making me a quick sandwich? You know, theme park food gives me interesting stools.
Jerry dismissing an opportunity to have any part of him finally be interesting.
All right, fine. But nobody wants to see a Beth's adventure.
Rick comments on what the writers know the viewers don't want to see before the writers force the viewers to watch it anyway, as if that makes it all okay. Cliché.
Why are we miserable? It's not Jerry.
Space Beth dumped her Jerry a long time ago, but I'm surprised that Earth Beth is so quick to discount the possibility that Jerry might play a part in her misery. I blame all kinds of things on Jerry every day. Really helps me sleep at night.
Why do you have a de-aging machine? When I'm bringing in bounties, I change them into kids. This car fits 10 kids if you pack them right.
At this point, Rick gets a pass for the whole always having an incredibly plot-specific gadget that does whatever the f*** the writers need it to do thing. But this scientific diplomatic immunity that I so graciously grant to Rick until I don't is cheapened when the less interesting characters can suddenly do it too.
Wait, will my clothes be super huge or? Oh, no. Technology this advanced is indistinguishable from magic.
Not being brave enough to look directly into the camera and say, "Shut up, TVSins, we're doing this."
Get ready. Earthworld is a mess. No creative consistency.
While it's true that Earthworld sounds like a terrible theme park, all the rides Rick describes and we eventually see are both ill-conceived and dangerous, which, like it or not, is creatively consistent.
Looks like they've just got a regular gap.
Morty points out this gap as evidence that this is a totally faithful recreation of Earth, but totally misses the street vendor selling jewelry made from human teeth.
I think that's John Legend?
Maybe they picked John Legend because his name implies he's really important.
If that's the logic behind which celebrities are in the park, where's Kevin Bacon? It wouldn't be necessary for patrons to ask about the park perks if this sign spelled them out instead of just consisting of a bunch of blue lines. Also, another episode and another example of too many alien signs being in complete English. What kind of an experience requires you to be fluent in a different language to understand what's going on? Other than Avatar, of course. Kids.
Oh, that bathroom was a ride too? I had my pants down and everything.
Allowing theme park patrons to ride rides without pants. Every fiber of my being as a human tells me that the head was not the originally intended body part for this technology. Also, Steven Seagard here must be thinking, well, these are the exact people I saw a couple of seconds ago, and I definitely saw them with their regular-sized heads, but now that their heads are huge, I'm forced to assume they work here. Under Siege 2 is so underrated. I'm forced to assume weeks have passed since all this started, considering the Beths have managed to build an entire cardboard fort around the house, a fence mural, a live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake, and treehouse home entertainment system in no time at all, with a box of scraps.
Hey, yo, check this out. Awesome. No adult is getting inside. Also, don't sit on that chair. The cushion is knives.
The fact that only one of these 10-year-old psychopaths grew up to be a rampaging murder machine actually speaks volumes for Rick's parenting skills.
I'm guessing one of you is Beth from next door, and one of you is her clone, but you're both little girls now? Not that strange, given what I've seen.
Jean, for reasons unknowable, hasn't moved out of this neighborhood or planet.
I love your tooth-filled big hole and the other less used holes on your face.
I don't know anything about this alien girl species, but she appears to have the same face holes, tooth-filled and otherwise, as Morty. And while you might argue that she doesn't have nose holes, I'd counter-argue that that is a quirk of animation since Morty also does not have nose holes. And before you counter my counter, maybe we should both find something better to do with our time.
At least Jerry got hurt.
Well, somehow every decision I've ever made has led to this.
You mean led to a situation where you scream after being stabbed in the ankle but are completely unaware of your entire hand being charcoaled? Also, it is damn near impossible to get a perfect char like this on the outside and fall away from the bone meat on the inside. Either the show's taking some comedic liberties here, or my advanced degree in Looney Tunes violence isn't worth the Acme branded paper it's printed on. Why does the teddy have guts? And if it actually happened in the show, I want the season number, episode title, and a timestamp emailed to you think I'm actually going to read this at ding.com. Okay, if Plate-Face Beth came from outside to confront Wolf Mask Beth, who was hiding under the bed, when did Plate-Face Beth have time to rig this paint trap? And if Wolf Mask Beth set it up, how is she dumb enough to end up directly underneath it? Infuriatingly, Rick replaces Gene's hand, but decides his ankles must have been a pre-existing condition not covered under his Ricksurance plan.
God damn it! I cloned you to fix this. That makes you twice as annoying.
Thinking that two children would somehow not be twice as annoying as one.
You're on a boat ride when suddenly you take a detour to a waterfall. And now you're in a pirate's den, forced to suck dick to stay alive.
The pitch for Disney's live-action remake of The Pirates of the Caribbean somehow makes it into the episode.
Take it all!
A literal caricature of Danny DeVito gobbling up an alien caricature voiced by Danny DeVito. Some sin removals are just easier than the others.
How old should we make him? As old as it'll go.
Assuming any of Rick's flesh would have survived a further 3 centuries. The man should look like a de-skinned Terminator right now.
Get up, or we'll leave you here, just like you left us!
Much like Rick did with your childhood, I'm gonna skip.
It's perfect! The only thing that could make this better is if something was on fire.
Michael Bay.
Put on Rory!
Summer spends far too much time forcing Morty to wear the head of a Culkin, also that 2 seconds later it can be discarded as they escape in a space car. The I have to read.
There's no room! Oh, it's so wet in here!
Title of my text tape? Dedicating any amount of your time and effort to telling people everything you think is wrong with a piece of content. In this ending montage, the Beths go to bed, wake up, go about their day job, meet up to rebuild and repaint Gene's house, and then enjoy a sunset with a glass of wine in their newly built treehouse. So why, in all that time, are none of them worried about where the Morty, Summer, and Jerry are? At the very least, you'd think Rick would want his definitely not a sex thing head-enlarging neckbands returned.
I'm blind! Spice froze my eyes!
If this journey home took as long as the episode suggests, none of you should be alive enough to complain about this. But hey, you guys get super-scienced big heads, and just like the saying goes, technology that advanced is indistinguishable from bullshit.
Hi, I'm being home invaded, and it's by
by a small home. There's a small home that's home invading my home.
Ending the episode with post-credit voicemail synopses of multiple Rick and Morty episodes that would have been better than the one we just watched.
I'm so lost. Should we turn the subtitles back on?
Reading.
We're the robo-trees.
Trees? I thought they were mushrooms and pencils. Mainly pencils. Those are supposed to be trees.
Did he seriously reintroduce each character? This is the 9th movie.
Not to mention it's the end of the movie. They used up about half of the 1.32 minutes before the planet is destroyed to do it. Joe doesn't know how to fully CinemaSins correctly.
Not exactly Citizen Kane.
Referring to a movie as no Citizen Kane cliche.
I don't know what to do with these feelings, Jerry. This used to be my favorite franchise.
My exact words at the end of Iron Man 3 somehow make it into the episode. Weirdly, I was by myself, but I still said Jerry.
Stop eating up screen time with stupid comic relief characters and put more cool in the story.
Sometimes it's hard to tell when the show is commenting on media in general or commenting on itself. Either way, I'm awarding 1 medicine for this episode, which wastes more than a little time on stupid comic relief characters.
Now, we'll spend 5 years and $500 million making it. But in the end, know what will make fans like you like it? A f***ing miracle.
Gonna go ahead and award 100 sins for all the people on social media this episode is definitely talking about that will believe it's not actually talking about them, but instead a true indictment on why their childhood has been taken away because Ghostbusters are now females and Tila got to have episodes focused on her instead of He-Man, and my future migraine brought on by this insanity is progressing very quickly. Clever pun and all, but there is zero chance a 10th movie in a successful franchise would go the Alan Smithy or Smith Tree route with the writing credit.
Hey, that man was unarmed. Yeah, man, uncool.
Actually, he had 2 arms. Unarmed.
I sentence you to life in prison for unlicensed murder.
This charge should at worst be manslaughter since it was an accident. And there were several witnesses that could testify to this, albeit from robo-trees to get a fair shake in this country. Also, I'm honestly more concerned to find out why this universe has licensed murder.
Isn't some of the stuff you're messing with important?
Oh, the off.
Game of Thrones Season 8 Writer's Room.
Stop them!
One of their teammates just went away for murder, so naturally they're gunning for Rick and Morty in cold blood. They must have ironclad stand your ground laws in their state.
The movie lies our last action heroed us.
Proof that Last Action Hero works much better as a verb than it did as a film.
What the hell is this?
A 2007 Kia Spectra. I thought you could use a cool getaway car.
Coolness or lack thereof aside, the 2007 Kia Spectra was recalled in 2011 because the fuel tank had a tendency to fall off, causing fuel leaks and fires. That makes this a terrible getaway car when robot trees are shooting lasers at you.
It says the script is 3,000 pages and counting. Also, there's an error thing bleeping that says antagonist not found and no third act.
The movie lizer could be malfunctioning. They should check to see if it's stuck in Star Trek the Motion Picture mode. I guess I'm willing to buy that lightning can reanimate a corpse, but since when does it reattach heads?
Yo, James Gunn.
Oh, hi, Zack Snyder.
Realizing the 2 people have a great sense of humor about themselves and their work, and then realizing that this will cause more online fights than online guffaws, and now I'm sad. Sinfully sad.
Do more shots of him punching, and here is a secret move. Start the punch at regular speed, and then you're gonna ramp it down.
It's not a secret.
James Gunn would be excellent at Zack Snyder sins.
That's Rick Sanchez, Gunner. That's the guy that sealed Nolan in the giant bookcase to quote-unquote punish him for Interstellar. He doesn't represent real fans.
It's true. Real fans would have slapped a Bane mask on Nolan to quote-unquote punish him for The Dark Knight Rises.
Hello?
Hi there, it's me, your wife.
How did James Gunn get Rick's phone number? And how did he know Jerry would answer Rick's phone? And that Jerry is married. How is phone call?
Here's your prison food, new guy.
But they're in prison. Wouldn't they just call it food? Do they think Canadians call it Canadian bacon instead of just bacon? No, that's actually a serious question. I've always been really curious about that.
I'm a idiot.
Wow, more self-aware than I thought.
Being self-aware about self-awareness to the point that the self-awareness becomes self-aware. And I'm about to shove my self-aware migraine so far up Rick Sanchez's self-aware ass, he'll be self-awaring his self-awareness till I give up.
But come on, everyone sucks until they don't.
Citation needed.
Here's the plan. I'll start a riot and we sneak out.
Smartest man in the galaxy, and his plan is to start a riot? I bet he didn't even bother to get the layout of the prison tattooed on his back.
Thank the squirrels you're safe.
But now he's a wanted murderer who has escaped from prison, and all of them might now be accomplices to said escape. How are any of them safe?
Hello, Earth. I'm the son of Thistle, and I'm just like my dad, so I'm a doomsdayin'.
Son of Thistle's video about the impending complete and total destruction of the polar ice caps has 6.9 million likes. This, in spite of the climate change hashtag, which you'd think would be off-putting to the type of person who would be pro-polar ice cap destruction.
Should have listened to Snyder.
He should not. I know that's the point, but it can't be stated enough.
That's it, Jerry. Give in to Hollywood.
Would like to point out James Gunn could have just driven away here.
Any idiot can plug an idea into a machine when they don't care what it spits back out.
Chat GPT. I know that's the point, but it can't be stated enough.
Okay, Jerry, now get us to the climax.
Title of my sex tape? The most unbelievable part of this episode is the idea that a 14-year-old kid in 2025 would know how to drive a stick. Leaving your heavily armed ship to chase your enemies on foot, giving them the opportunity to activate the Doomsday weapon instead of just attacking the Doomsday weapon with your heavily armed ship. No.
I admit it. Making movies is hard. From now on, I'm just going to be an impossible-to-please fan.
TVSins. I know that's the point, but it cannot be stated enough.
Okay.
Rick and Morty episode revolves around exploring variants or clones of a quasi-main character. Cliché. Also, Jerry's. The milk to cereal ratio in this bowl is f***ing heinous. And that's after some of it is spilled out.
You gonna eat that? Not really.
Then why did you f***ing order it? It looks as if nary a single noodle has been de-ramened.
The road provides.
Doing a riff on the dude abides because someone once told you the Big Lebowski is peak cinema and forgetting that, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Are you here from the future? Are you here to kill me? You think I came from the future to replace a guy who loves them all?
Stubble Jerry would be Cormac McCarthy-salent at TVSins.
Oh. What? Don't make him any more suspicious. Talk to him.
Not realizing that a Jerry striking up a conversation with a Rick out of the blue is about the most suspicious thing a Jerry could do.
Your frozen dumplings are still in there, Jerry.
Title of my sex tape?
Don't waste my freezer space.
I hate to imagine the smartest man in the universe is struggling with freezer space the same way I do after a trip to Costco.
We try to mark safe trails for each other. Upside down coaster means it's cool.
But what if someone else turns over the coaster or puts it somewhere else? Or what if there's a universe where an upside down coaster means the same thing as those upside down pineapples that I pretend to understand the meaning of?
Blah, blah, blah,
Blah,
blah, blah.
blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, holy shit, she saw me! I know! You did great!
It's unclear why Jerry and Mooch spend so much time hiding and sneaking around if being seen in another dimension doesn't have any real consequences. If it's cold enough to need parkas, it's cold enough to also need gloves.
Oh, Jesus.
Presumably, the Smiths in this dimension didn't have a Rick to portal them someplace warm. But that's no excuse to choose to freeze to death outside without coats instead of at least trying to stay warm in the house.
Without the trail, this family would just be gone. But the road remembers. There's so many of us.
There's nothing about any of these wall trinkets that indicates they come from Jerry's, or that this wall is a memorial of some kind. If it were me, I'd interpret this less as the road remembering and more of people disposing of random pocket junk in a poor frozen family's house.
You still don't get it, buddy. We're the same.
Boss Jerry, who we'll meet later, would probably take exception to this assertion. Apparently, dimension hopping didn't seem nearly dangerous enough on its own, so Jerry also agreed to be pointlessly shrunk down to a couple of inches. What could possibly go wrong? In this case, nothing, which is even weirder. I'm assuming the discount Sweeney Todd dimensional portal chair only works after you've wiggled the lever in this very specific way, meaning this episode should have been called Every Jer, Every Mort, All at Rick.
Boy, I might be living a little too anchors up, Jerry.
I can't tell if Rick is wearing a puka shell necklace here or just has a tan line from wearing one. And not knowing bothers me.
You want a margarita?
All good. He has to know that's not you.
But does it even matter? Nobody in any of the realities they visit seems to care that the wrong Jerry, or even multiple Jerrys, are hanging around. Not to mention, this Rick is even more drunk than your average Rick.
I mean, I'm not actually from the dimension you found me in. My whole family jumped together.
We're going to get to a point, maybe in season 10 or 11, where each episode will just be a retelling of previous episodes and a new screenwriter won't have to be credited at all.
But then I turned into a bug and we all had sex. Eagle, man! I guess it is all pretty cool when I say it out loud.
Sure, but only because Jerry left out the part about going to the daycare center afterwards to try and hook up with an other dimensional version of himself.
Get me home!
The only reason you're late is because you had to have some shower beers, Jerrythan. Feel like you should be taking more responsibility for this slip-up.
You mapping new routes and keeping them to yourself?
I'm confused. Does every route have to go through Boss Jerry and Grand Central, or is going through Grand Central just an option? Either Mooch has done a terrible job explaining the rules of the road, or none exist.
Hey, get off of me!
Taking photos of the Jerrys you want to blacklist when most Jerrys look alike. And yes, I know, that's Jerryist.
What about my life? I didn't ask for any of this. You just showed up at my house.
And then you agreed to come with him. He didn't Jerry nap you, you f***ing appendix.
Okay. Here's my pitch. We get jobs as dock workers, tell them we're twins or something, save up for 3 months and move to Spain. We'll open a dance studio.
Pitching the plot for what will probably be a Season 9 episode in the middle of this Season 8 episode.
Yeah, this used to be my dimension. The shed was my way out.
Then why did you say...
Buddy, a guy like us can hike the whole multiverse without even leaving the house.
Almost every portal has been outside the house. If the road provides, could it take a second to provide some rationale?
I'm a tea guy myself. Earl Grey, little milk.
Milk in your Earl Grey, you peasant? That's disgusting. What you need is just a squeeze of lemon, a bit of paprika, a dash of cinnamon, 3 minutes in the microwave, and then an eternity in the trash with the kombucha on your way to getting a f***ing coffee.
The kids didn't respect me. Rick hates me. How long did it take before you even noticed I was gone?
I'm sorry, was somebody talking?
Address?
Oh. Is it a number or like a lot of letters?
I refuse to believe that Rick couldn't scan Jerry and find out exactly what dimension he's from, thus skipping a further unneeded interaction with Jerry.
If these guys try to kill me in the shed, I will not hold back.
Fair's fair.
I'll be mean about it. Mean deaths.
Can you blame me for leaving? No, I get it.
I see no substantive difference between how Stubble Jerry is treated versus Vanilla Jerry, so if he gets it, why hasn't he left his family already? Or is it because that would run the risk of doing something interesting? Also, show teases us with a mean death for Jerry, but doesn't provide even a fishhook's worth of detail as to said meanness. I'd just like to know how far off my Jerry deserves to be peeled barometer is.
The only way back to your reality is through Grand Central.
Convenient third act finale setup says what?
But I've got an idea.
Is your idea to ask Rick to give you a bunch of weapons and maybe power armor? Because that'd be my idea. Jerry and Mooch have time for this.
I'm so glad making the mouse big didn't kill it. It eventually might.
Any distance they might have gained on Boss Jerry by obtaining this escape mouse is negated by this conversation.
Hey!
Beating yourself off with your own wiener.
I'm nothing like you! He's got a gun?
Waiting until you're in the extremely fragile pocket dimension tunnel to pull out your gun instead of at any point before now. No.
Besides, maybe Boss Jerry's gone now.
In a matter of just a few seconds, the faces have been photoshopped off this family photo.
You missed Morty mating with an octopus.
It'll probably happen again.
Mating with an octopus? When did Morty become so deep?
Guys, we all use those couches.
Jerry's on a recliner, not a couch, Beth. More importantly, where are their beverages? Why are they raw dogging popcorn with no esophageal lubricant? I see no further issues with this scene as presented.
Is someone requesting pancakes? Because it feels like we eat them all the time.
Damn it, just tell us you watch TVSins already. Having said that, I will not let such amateur sinning stand when so many legitimate grievances could be tabled. Like the literal table. They all have the same food, and yet Rick and Summer are missing knives. And while Morty, Beth, and Jerry do have knives, Jerry is the only one using his. Why would they make such an obvious parallel to Paul McCartney's Bare Feet on the Abbey Road album? More heinous still, why don't Summer and Rick have napkins? And if your nerves can take one final devastating revelation, I don't think enough butter has been removed from this stick to account for all the butter we see on the pancakes.
That was my son, Morty Jr., with the hands, coming out of his head.
Expecting me to remember from 12 years ago with no prior notice, especially when I'm not certain said happened on this Earth or to this Morty.
He wrote a New York Times bestseller about what a bad dad you are.
A book that you, rather suspiciously, have decided to store extremely close to the dining table.
Summer made me get a reservation for us at some dumb precog restaurant.
Oh, are we doing a Minority Report? This movie is so ripe for Rick and Mortying. Luckily, I've precogged the possibilities, and there's only a 0.01% chance that this will actually be an homage to the Jon Favreau vehicle Chef.
Junior, wow, you got old fast.
Well, time flies when you're a Gazorpian.
This should not be a surprise to Morty, who saw him grow into a teen over the course of a single day. Nice of him to remind us of this Gazorpian quirk, though.
The thing is, your mother was...
A semen receptacle?
How did Junior get a hold of this coupon? Morty bought the, seed receptacle at some random space pawn shop, and it appeared to be the only one. Considering the robots were mass-produced by female Gazorpians to keep their species alive, I'm not sure where they could be found on sale. Let me get this straight. Somebody in this universe watched Minority Report and thought, I know what I'll do. Instead of using my precogs to manipulate the stock market and get rich, I'm going to use them to enter one of the toughest and most unforgiving industries possible, ensuring that I earn less money and I've really had to work for it.
Oh, I did want this, but I never saw it coming.
Title of my sex tape?
Avocado toast?
Person most excited about the venture is the one most disappointed with how things turn out. Cliché.
Mother, I'm told your mouth was always open.
The rest of this note is a pretty sincere paragraph about the effect the sex robot had on, well, it's not clear. But the sin is that the f***ing sex robot clearly didn't have an impact on anything except Morty's bed. Junior has decided to forego the obvious ladder here in favor of blindly stepping through the portal and hoping gravity is in a forgiving mood.
That's why Rick built Salvatron, a self-replicating system that filters the trash for anything valuable.
Weird that he didn't also build an exposition droid and just assumed you'd do all the heavy lifting.
He likes to get drunk and invent stuff that doesn't make any sense.
The person in charge of the MCU's continuity department, presumably.
Right, but I'm his grandson.
How do I know he didn't throw his grandson away?
Charlie Daybot would be excellent at knowing Rick extremely well, Sins. Missing a full-grown Gazorpian-sized target from this f***ing close. Morty never questions the elderly gentleman who is on death's door suddenly being able to outrun and dodge the laser-shooting drone. Wait. What the f*** is this? Who serves the salt shaker on the plate?
They're clearly luring us into some complicated 12 steps ahead examination of determinism and causality.
Christopher Nolaning.
Hey, we're looking for someone. Can you help us?
Why, may I ask, and for whom did Morty take a selfie with the sex robot?
Down that tunnel over there.
How did the empty pizza box... Well, actually, where did... But more importantly, how did... But really, where? But also how? And also where?
Was shedding shit on the ground. I'm kind of hungry.
Being hungry for anything that has been shitted.
I wrote Enchanted Goblin. All 7 books.
And then somewhere these trash monsters managed to get hold of those 7 books and entwine them into their society in a way that justifies a live street performance.
It really is so fun that it's big.
Show precogging me into that earlier title of my sex tape joke, knowing that I'd have to miss out on an even better one right here.
I wanted to be at a restaurant with you.
Skip.
She was the finest I ever had. Well, top 3. Top 5, at least.
Morty is canonically 14 years old.
I'm happy we did this.
So are we! I wonder if the monster would have jumped out if Morty hadn't queued it up like this. Would it have just never attacked if they entered and left in complete silence?
Pull out farther so I can shoot you!
Yeah, it's really unfair of Morty to stay where he is when you clearly lack the ability to fly around and shoot him from a different angle. Saying yoo-hoo instead of being a real hero and shooting the bad guy in the back.
These autograph hounds found me dying in the cemetery, patched me up, and tunneled us to you.
And even though this is clearly a time-sensitive situation, they even took the time to clean and sew up my waistcoat, too.
Summer Smith makes a hard right in 2 seconds! But that's a billboard!
Being more concerned about the billboard itself than the 2 humans on it. Also, even if we go from the instant they say 2 seconds, 4 seconds pass before Summer turns. Unless they knew she actually needed to turn in 6 seconds and that saying 2 seconds would get her to turn in 6 seconds. But I don't like that explanation because you. Wait, do they actually paint billboards? I figured that they would just have really big printers or something, or print it in segments. How is this the day I realize I don't understand how billboards work? Left! I think precogs work in that Doctor Strange way. They can predict a number of different outcomes based on current trajectories, allowing them to influence those outcomes by influencing people's actions. Great. But I'm struggling to reconcile how a vague left, right, left is going to guarantee that Summer will turn the right amount of left or the right amount of right. Am I right?
You read Enchanted Goblin?
Yeah, I loved it.
Then why the f didn't you say that earlier? You acted like you hadn't read a single page and then it got all awkward and weird, and I have enough awkward and weird in my life without you artificially inseminating my show with it. Call me picky, but I feel like at least one of these machines should be better at digging than the 14-year-old. Being able to fly, but then flying low enough to be within you distance of a shovel. This group of people who should absolutely see and hear this van coming, but choose to continue being stationary animations.
Great dog.
That's better than avocado toast?
Being surprised that a processed meat mash in a bun is better than the non-processed vegetable mash on bread.
Rick really hates the Goonies.
Giving me a reason to like Rick.
And somehow I did feel free.
Misquoting your own novel.
Hot cog, Chicago style.
We're expected to believe that either a life in Rick's garbage was the destiny they wanted all along, or they didn't see this coming. I find both answers unsatisfactory.
You'd make it
tolerable.
8 seasons under this show's belt is proof enough that Rick makes the slow march towards the heat death of the universe more than tolerable.
I know, you can't get close because of your wife who died 40 years ago, I know.
It's weird for the show itself to start showing signs of being fatigued by the overuse of one of its main plot drivers.
The Omega device, the, thing evil me used to erase Diane everywhere, it f***s with your mind. Beth only thinks she remembers her mom.
Well, I only think that I kind of remember the episode that you're referring to. So I'm thinking that all memories are made up of thinking, and that you think that you remember your viewers liking thinking about your canon way more than they really think. I think?
Wait, why am I talking about this?
To catch the viewers up on past events, because neither you nor I want anything to do with previous Leon or meta-reality ever again.
Welcome back to Cake or Welcome back to Cake or Fake, Celebrity Edition.
It was a real baby, not a cake, and Mr. Stabby's canceled now.
Why does it taste different, Pete? Why?
Well, do you need a knife, Mr. Stabby?
Your penis is hanging out.
Rick's great!
What?
Rick would be excellent at TVSins.
I don't like everyone watching me.
Title of my sex tape?
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Memory Rick.
The memory of Rick must exist across the multiverse, so Memory Rick is more of a subgenre than a moniker.
Look how far he's come with springs and gears tech.
But it was never really about the gears at all. Getting Dave Bowmaned without consent.
I built this ant farm brain to give your dumb high-concept ass all the room it could ever need.
There aren't any metaphorical tunnels of abstract subconsciousness to burrow through. This is a Sound of Music brain at best. Memory Rick's memory prison has enough physical laws to allow him to science the shit out of it instead of being forced to deal with the stuff that dreams are made of.
He does seem kind of lonely. Dad f***s all the time.
Spending however much time space Beth has spent out in space and not understanding what it's like to be f***ing lonely.
Dear Rick, you took the memory of Diane out of your head.
Leaving yourself a post-its position to catch yourself up on current events because neither you nor I want anything to do with previous Leon or meta-reality ever again.
Oh, there you are.
Beth just got her mind fried by Memory Rick, and even if the device wiped any recollection of what just happened, Beth is visibly a little off. So, at this point in the series, I'm being asked to suspend my disbelief that the Smith family doesn't have protocols in place for every time someone has a confused look on their face. Going full Morchinimrickable, or Rick Hard, depending on which Riction franchise you find yourself beholden to.
That's my Aunt Bulgogi. Huge bitch.
Being named after a delicious Korean dish, but being less than savory.
You're a genius and you looked up nothing about my culture?
Conflating intelligence and effort when pointing out everything wrong with a Rick.
If you yield, you admit you are incapable of love and commitment.
Sharing your values with Match.com's user agreement. Sure, it's fun to watch Beth get assassin training. I mean, it's not like one of those skills will be primarily used to shock us with the temporary death of a beloved character.
Grandpa keeps referencing Cannonball Run, and I'm tired of pretending I've seen it.
Pretending to be cool enough to have watched what happens to be the most critically acclaimed movie ever made about a cannonball breaking the record of the 4-minute mile. Beth applied 3 points when 2 would have sufficed. Diane's memory palace being in a secure location means that the choice to leave Memory Rick in the garage was the doing of a lazy plot and not the doing of a lazy Rick. Assuming the first helmet you see in a Rick's sub-basement is the one you're looking for, and not testing it on a Jerry first to find out if it's some kind of instant poop-your-pants helmet.
This is how we stay a family!
Kids.
So I'm a memory from the past, and you and I have a daughter in the future, and we're in her head right now.
Diane summarizes Rick, catching her up on past, future, and current events because neither he nor I want anything to do with previous Leon or meta-reality ever again.
I'm a memory, just like you. And I think we're in real you's head.
I'm a memory? I'm not real?
She accepted that faster than the Cannonball split time in the iconic final scene of the Golden Globe Best Picture winner Cannonball Run. I completely forgot this discount Klingon wacky sword fight was going on.
You end up in a fighting pit with an ex-boyfriend you're not allowed to kill.
Skip.
You're lucky you've got a robot spine.
Convenient spine is convenient.
I'm gonna flush that little memory turd so hard.
The amount of force applied to the handle rarely results in a proportional increase in water flow. Just be happy if it flushes at all. This cardboard tube makes Jerry's gerbil water bottle the least believable piece of technology in the show.
So we're gonna kill you before she kills all of us!
And you could already be done with that if Memory Rick's training didn't apparently contain a module on perfectly executing a textbook villain mistake.
Listen up, you little activist.
Old people who have to make every conversation about politics. The hey text and all the lives it has ruined.
I liked when Jerry was the Easter Bunny. That was fun.
Fun.
Who is he? Who's he talking to?
The perfectly understandable questions of the newest TVSins subscriber somehow makes it into the episode.
This cycle of intergenerational trauma and all its manifestations.
It's charging! Charging in the air!
Can you hear me now? Good.
How can you trust a man that wears both a belt and suspenders? Man can't even trust his own pants.
I can't die! I am in a world of
Your precious armory, gratefully accepted.
Time to go mobile.
You wouldn't be putting people in matrices, would you?
What?
Because that's something you should never do.
Christopher James Motorola charging first class!
Why did you say that name?
Is that why the ship always has a bee in the window?
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
A sting trooper did it. Why didn't they pin it on us?
You can't fight in here. This is the war room. That fungus is no disease. It's the cure.
You sly dog. You got me monologuing.
Now, I've never had crack.
Dude, you are going to love it.
Damn, this is nice corn.
Did you think corn wasn't real?
We're closed.
Wendell, you don't work here.
So I'm the only one who misses when we used to chat in the elevators back on the Citadel.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
Whoa, what the f are you doing with your life?
I used to LeBron James.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary. 'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your arm's off.
All right now, think that's large enough. Get your mouth round it.
Maybe you and I can hide some eggs one last time.
So one of those egg council creeps got to you too, huh?
Oh my God, I killed the Easter Bunny!
Along with the hopes and dreams of children everywhere.
Give up hope. Look at me. Dreams are for suckers.
Aren't you guys on Easter's side?
Side. I am on nobody's side. Because nobody is on my side.
Charlie, stop pulling your teeth out like that, man. It's freaking me out.
My leg.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it has a...
Tommy, how's it taping?
I have lived my life poorly.
Yeah, I botched it. Life, you know?
There they are, out among the stars, waiting to begin a new life. Ready to outsit eternity. They're indomitable.
I'm fine with taking candy from a baby.
But I hate baseball cards.
Hope my Schwanz still works.
Swing. This gruel, it's got energy, lumps, all the things a Makey needs.
Everything the buddy needs.
Morty, great news. It's all going as planned.
And how was flirting part of the plan?
I'm driving the ship.
We need to put some hold-on maneuvers.
Dr. Dogballs, my man.
Sorry, folks, park's closed. The moose out front should have told you.
Hot cocoa with extra marshmallows. Hope you got room for extra marshmallows.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs. Someone help me. I'm still alive, only I'm very badly burned.
The tenants arrive in the entrance hall here, are carried along the corridor on a conveyor belt in extreme comfort and past murals depicting Mediterranean scenes towards the rotating knives.
Hungry for meat. Eat meat.
Which one of these talented entertainers who I am not attracted to at all?
Hello?
Sterling, listen very...
Voicemail. You know what to do.
Oh, shit. Morty, look.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Take that back, asshole!
I'm not locked in here with you.
You're locked in here with me.
My drill is the drill that creates the heavens!
You said it wasn't Citizen Kane.
You know how to really succeed in this town? By turning your back on family.
You don't turn your back on family.
You know how I've been writing raptor porn on the side? I'm ready to share it with the world.
I'm not buying you lunch. What if we call it breakfast too?
Don't think he knows about second breakfast, Pip.
The road provides.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Change channel.
Get frozen.
Jerry's like you that make me sick. Why can't you just stay home?
I have had enough of you!
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
I'm getting low on water, and the only thing I can do is to drink my own pee.
But maybe you won't see this.
God! No, I did not see that coming!
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
These cogs know what's up.
2 words. Heather Locklear.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Summer Smith makes a hard right in 2 seconds! But that's a billboard!
Our only chance is to take this battle to them!
Robot hell is quite real.
Was it ever real?
You're gonna laugh. I got a food truck.
You've known my daughter a long time, eh?
I am having sex with this woman right here.
This is how we stay a family!
He's just resting.
And pieces! That man is dead!
He's so sleepy.
I'm gonna flush that little memory turd so hard.
My doctor is begging me to eat less fiber.
Our family's not very normal, is it?
Fornication, treason, incest.
Dad?
I'm from our father's father's fathers.
Sorry, memory daughter!
You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
O'Doyle rules!
Who's he talking to?
Pepe Sylvia. This name keeps coming up over and over again. Every day, Pepe's mail's getting sent back to me. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I look in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia!